Oh, great God Almighty. We got Cowboys. We got Canton. And we got the case of the Kleenex. So I'm at my father's house on Lake Fork.
Lake Fork.
This is my wife, Marcia, by the way.
Yeah.
You probably have never met her before. And it's lovely. This is our first time here. He just moved down here from Colorado. We're here to greet him. We're here to greet him. And in a little bit, we'll talk about Drew Pearson by greeting him with that. So I was going to take like the afternoon off. You know, I did my coverage on cowboyssi.com. I've done my stuff at 105.3 The Fan. We've got our incredible 75-member staff. They're all over the Mavericks, the Cowboys, the Super Bowl. And I was just going to take an afternoon off and just look at Lake Fork and look at my partner. So, and then I shot my video this morning on the Dak story, which is old but new. The second ankle surgery thing is new. The contractual part of it is not changed. If you listen to our broadcast on 105.3 The Fan, you're already familiar with the buzz about the second ankle surgery. I did talk to somebody else, by the way, about that, who's in the circle with Dak Prescott and said, really, this doesn't delay the timetable, doesn't have any effect. It really was a cleanup more than anything else, so no big deal. Now, speaking of surgeries, but then I wanted to look at the comments because, as you know, I like to. There's 21,000 of us hang out here. Marcia looks at the comments. We have some fun with it and everything, and I like to respond and hear your response back. And the comments on my fantastic exclusive Dak ankle video are, Fisher, what's in your nose? And of course, not because I'm gross, but because you are, you think it was a booger. Listen, I will exaggerate sometimes, as you know. I will even fib to get out of trouble. I've fibbed in my life. This woman has never told a lie in her life.
I cannot tell a lie.
Marcia, go
I
ahead.
just can't. He shaves with a regular old-timey razor and goes like this.
Even my 80-year-old dad goes, why do you shave with an old-timey razor? I don't know.
And he
Dad.
cuts himself all the time.
Along?
Up here.
Right there.
All the time. And then he goes and he gets a little piece of a Kleenex and he sticks it up his nose.
And I stick it there thinking, first of all, I'm just around the house. She's already put up with all kinds of shit for me. She doesn't care. But then I was in a hurry to get to my dad's. Let's go to Lake Fork. So let's hurry up and shoot my incredible video. And then I just thought, you know, I know there's a piece of tissue paper up there, not a booger.
No.
And by the way, somebody
gross, no.
Somebody put in there, Fisher, you have nose hairs all over it. No, I don't.
No.
I don't. It's not nose hairs,
No.
and it's not a booger. Now, then my dad goes, why don't you really show him the real problem? And then so he put ketchup on a napkin, ketchup on a Kleenex. But that's just ketchup. It's not blood, and this is a real Kleenex that I would really use. So that's the story, and I'm sticking with it. But it's really true. I just cut myself shaving and thought you wouldn't notice. I will never come on this broadcast and have anything hanging out from head to toe.
That's disgusting.
I'm very crisp and clean. Look at me. Look, I don't have anything. Look at my hair. I'm a role model of 60-year-olds. So there you go. Marcia, thank you for testifying. Have I ever told you a lie? Maybe a fib. Have you ever told a lie, period?
No,
You really haven't.
I really haven't.
All right, thank you for your service. Seriously, it was not a booger. You want to sit here for the rest of this broadcast?
Sure.
Okay.
If you'll allow it.
So, the other gigantic news of the weekend, of course, besides Dak's ankle and Fish's booger, is Drew Pearson. Drew Pearson's in, and of course he knew he was in, but that doesn't take away from the emotion of what happened over the weekend, especially when, and as you can tell if you know your way around the Star or know your way around the Cowboys, the background in the video with the Pro Football Hall of Fame was at the Star, and so that's why it was so easy for Mr. Jones and the great Roger Staubach to be present too, two Hall of Famers in their own right. And I've and other people in the media have had a lot of conversations with Drew about the emotion of all this and what it means to all this, and I absolutely love what Drew said to David upon the official announcement, which is, I'll do everything I can to uphold the legacy of what this means. and take that seriously. He means it, because he will. And in fact, the way that Drew Pearson has already conducted himself. By the way, thank you for subscribing to what we do here. Notice that if I did have a booger in my nose, I could lean back into the shade and you'd never notice it. But instead, I'm coming right up in the sunlight. You can look at my absence of nose hairs and everything. Thanks for subscribing, 21,000 strong. And yes, even on a Super Bowl Sunday on a day off, we're still here because I know you're still here.
He's always here, by the way.
We're
Always.
I know, always here. So Drew views this as not only an opportunity to be celebrated, which it certainly is, but also an opportunity of service. And you watch Drew Pearson now do the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Very, very proud. What I don't like about it is, and a few of you have done this, but a lot of people around the country who just don't understand, and maybe it's people of a certain age that don't get it. This is supposed to be, by the way, this is my gift to my dad. This is Cowboys wine.
It's Josh's wine with the cowboy label on it.
Yeah, it's by Josh's Cellars. But this, we've done we did a visit the other day on the marketing of the Cowboys. You probably saw it. I know you did.
Oh, of course I did.
Listen, they don't miss a trick, man. Cowboys wine, really? What? 1960? Oh, really? It's a 61-year-old wine? No, it's probably from yesterday. But still, I brought it to my dad, and he won't know he doesn't know anything about it. He won't know any different. I wish that the recognition and the understanding of Drew Pearson, because the recognition now has come, that the understanding of what Drew Pearson is and has been would age like fine wine. Get it? But instead, a lot of people are going, I don't see it, Fish. I don't see it, Drew. Look at the numbers. Dude, the game is so different than it was in 1972 or whatever. Guys didn't get targeted. Receivers didn't get targeted 15 times in a game in 1973. Just not the way football worked then. It's not the way the rules worked. If Drew Pearson played today, he'd be, I don't know, pick a guy. Chris Godwin, Keenan Allen, pick a star. And then realize that Drew would put up those kind of numbers, star-level numbers, every year for whatever it was, a decade and a half, and go to 2 Super Bowls. And, oh, by the way, they're going to have a tough deal here in this era with all these gigantic and inflated and fantastic numbers. Who's going to be the 2 wide receivers of the decade for the coming decade? Because look at all these guys that get 100 catches a year. And look at all. Drew was one of the 2 wide receivers of the decade when he played. In other words, in the 70s and at the end of the 70s, the NFL officially recognized him as one of the 2 best receivers of his time. If you're one of the 2 best receivers of your time, you have to be in the Hall of Fame. And in fact, I think there's 17 guys who have gotten that honor. Drew was the only one of the 17 who hadn't gotten in. It doesn't make any sense to make it an argument for a more modern era. Tyron Smith is an all-decade performer at tackle. Zach Martin is an all-decade performer. They've gotten that honor. They have to be in the Hall of Fame. If the league, the world, already decreed you're one of the 2 best guards of your era, then you have to go to the Hall of Fame. And so forget the numbers. Think about it and look back at it. Look at how Drew made plays. Look at how he made. Listen, there was Captain America on one end. There was Mr. Clutch on the other end. Somebody had to catch all those passes in clutch times. Not 100 passes a year, just gigantic receptions in gigantic games with gigantic outcomes. Even bigger.
Put your head down.
Than my fake booger. Drew Pearson's career is so big, it's even bigger than my fake ketchup napkin booger. My father has already said, why don't you use an electric shaver thing? And
why don't you?
My birthday, Marsha, is coming up.
In November.
But Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day's coming up. So you don't have to get me an electric razor. Marsha will handle that.
I will do that.
What you do have to do is a couple things. 1, thank you for subscribing. Tell your friends where to get the straight dope, exclusive, and fish stuff here. 2, quit making fun of my bodily functions. There will be a time, I'm not old enough yet, there will be a time when suddenly, oh, he's got ear hairs out to here. Oh, he seems to have a weird limp. Oh, he's got boogers hanging out, and he doesn't even know. That time's coming, but that time is not now. Fish at Lake Fork, out.